Welcome, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Business Masters Live. Today's interview is sponsored by Karin Carr's book, YouTube for Real Estate Agents. Learn how to get free real estate leads and never cold call again. So this is all about helping introverted entrepreneurs use video to attract their dream clients without spending money on ads and funnels and other important topics we're going to cover here about video marketing. I highly recommend check out the book, Karin Carr's YouTube for Real Estate Agents for more. So the title of today's interview is Your Video Marketing Roadmap. My name is Martin Meisenheimer, and today I'm talking with video marketing expert Karin Carr about the main steps every introverted entrepreneur needs to follow to succeed with video marketing and get the very best results. Welcome, Karin Carr.
Thank you so much. That was such a lovely introduction. I really appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. I actually have a little bit of more because I think you're a little bit humble. So I want to share a little bit more before I turn it over to you. So in addition to authoring this really good, amazing book that I recommend to you, YouTube for Real Estate Agents, Karin's the founder of the real estate industry's premier training program called YouTube for Agents. And that focuses specifically on using YouTube as a lead gen strategy. So Karin is a highly sought after national speaker on the subject of video marketing, which is why I'm so honored that she's joined us here today. She was voted a Bomb real estate video influencer in 2018 and 2019. And highly recommend you check out her website, YouTube for Agents, to learn more about what she does. Once again, Karin Carr, thank you for joining us today on the live interview.
My pleasure. Thank you, Martin.
Okay, so let's jump right in. My first set of questions is really to get a little bit more background about and know more about your experience in the field of video marketing, how you got started down this pathway, and maybe help some of our audience of introverted entrepreneurs understand a little bit more about maybe how they could get started learning some of the insights and tips that you have to offer. And then after that, we'll jump into some of the real detailed tips and strategies that you like to share with those who are studying under you. So could you tell us, tell us a little bit about yourself in terms of how you got started down this path?
It's so funny because it was completely by accident, which it's like every good thing that's happened in my life has pretty much been accidental. It's kind of funny how it happens, but I had been a real estate agent since 2005 and we had moved multiple times. So imagine if you're an entrepreneur and you have a local business, not an internet-based business. If you pick up and move across the country, you are starting from scratch. And every time a realtor does that, that's what we're faced with. We're starting over in a new market with no market share and nobody knows us. And we don't have any of our signs in people's front yards. So you're literally starting from square one. And I had begun blogging. When we moved to Atlanta, I started blogging and I really enjoyed it. I do not like cold calling people at all, but I would write for half an hour a day, any day of the week. So I would write these articles about, are you thinking about moving to Atlanta? Here are the different areas that you might want to consider. This is what you need to know. Let's talk about the traffic because people coming to Atlanta don't realize how bad that traffic is. And they think they're going to live on one side of the city and commute to the other. We're like, that's not going to happen. You're going to be in the car for 2 hours each way every single day. Nobody wants to do that. So the blogging started, and while I started to get clients from it, it was very time consuming. I mean, it would take me a good week to write a 3,000 word blog post and then put photos in it and infographics and all of the things. And then I read some statistic online that said if you embed a YouTube video in your blog post, it was something like 43 times more likely to rank on the first page of Google search results just because you had a YouTube video in the blog post. Wow. So I was going over to YouTube going, okay, let's see, did the Chamber of Commerce do a good video about our town? And I'll just copy that URL and embed it in my blog. I didn't want to use any of my competitors' videos, but I could do something from the travel and tourism website or, the Chamber of Commerce or greatschools.org or what have you. And then after I did that for a while, I thought, well, I should just make my own video. I mean, how hard can it be? because you really don't know anything about YouTube, right? So you think, how hard can it be?
Sure.
And that was like literally the best decision that I ever made, honestly, because when I got that first phone call where somebody said, I found your YouTube channel. I've been watching all of your videos. I feel like I know you already. We're going to move to Atlanta. We want to buy a house and we want you to help us. In the 12 years or so that I had been a real estate agent, that had never happened to me before. Not ever, not one time. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue. And it wasn't because he said, I've been reading all of your blog posts and I really like your fancy website. He said, I've been watching your videos and I feel like I know you already.
Yeah.
And my videos are very low key. I film them here in my home office. I'm just talking to the camera. They are nothing fancy. They have a little bit of editing, but like the bare minimum that I can get away with just to take out the mistakes and make it interesting enough that people will keep watching and not immediately abandon it and go watch something else. But they are not fancy videos. And they're also not all about the houses, which is something that real estate agents, think we really fall into this trap of, look at my open house at 123 Main Street. And doesn't it have a fabulous kitchen? And it's not all about the house. It's about the town that you live in, the neighborhoods, what there is to do there, where will your kids go to school, how much does it cost, what are the major employers, is there a major airport nearby so that if you travel a lot for business, you'll be able to get to the airport easily. All those types of topics are things that people are researching online when they're contemplating making a move. They're not looking for the actual house on YouTube, but they are looking for information about the area. And so if you become that person that is the local area expert answering these questions for them, when they're ready to reach out and call somebody, you're kind of the no-brainer. You're the person that they want to call because they feel like they know you and you have earned their trust at this point.
Yeah, you just dropped two big value bombs right there. The first one was the fact that people see you on a regular basis on video means they already feel like they know you before they've even made any contact. That's huge. And then the second thing is that you're not just talking about real estate per se, that it's not 100% about your product or service. And that's something that I think a lot of people who are just getting started in video marketing, um, it takes them a little while to come to that understanding that, oh, if I focus more on what is the problem or the struggle and think a little bit broader, and that's what I see you doing so well.
Thank you. Yes, I think that is really key, that we don't want to just be selling, 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 selling in these videos. We have to be thinking, what is their problem that they have? What is the challenge that they're facing? What issue are they trying to overcome? And how can I solve that problem for them? And when you do that in a way where you're not selling anything, you're not asking for anything in return, you're just being genuinely helpful. It's kind of like they let their guard down, they let their walls down. They don't think, oh, it's just another, salesperson who's trying to sell me something that I don't want, that I'm not ready to buy. Instead, it's like, oh, this is my neighbor who's just telling me what I needed to know about this town and is being genuinely helpful. So when they're ready to hire an agent, they don't just go to Google and search for realtors near me. They say, I already know somebody that I've been following for a long time, and that's the person that I want to use. And
Yeah.
because they feel like you're some sort of celebrity, this is the part that cracks me up. I am not a celebrity, but they think that because you have a YouTube channel, it's the equivalent of being on HGTV. And so when they call you and you answer the phone, they go, oh my gosh, I can't believe you answered the phone. Like, I seriously thought I was going to get your staff. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking to you. And they get all starstruck. And it cracks me up that they still think that. It's like, really? I'm a realtor in my town. I'm not famous. But they act like I'm doing them this giant favor by taking their phone call. It's crazy. So when they call you, that business is yours if you want it. You don't have to compete for it. You don't have to try to convince them why you're the right person for the job. They've already chosen you by the time they pick up the phone and call.
That is so powerful because
Mhm.
I rarely come across anyone who just absolutely loves selling. It
Right.
just,
I mean, oh gosh, I hated it.
yeah,
When my very first job out of college, I worked for a software company in the HR department. And I would look at the salespeople that were winning prizes and winning all of these trips for exceeding their goals. And I thought, there is no prize you could give me that would make me want to get on the phone and cold call 100 people a day. Like that is my worst nightmare come
yeah,
true.
yeah,
And there are, those people are few and far between that really love to sell and they love the outbound calling, but most people do not. Most people would much prefer to have inbound calls where they say, hey, I already know who you are, and I would like for you to represent me when I sell my house, please. Versus I call a for sale by owner that has a sign in their front yard and say, what's it going to take you to hire the right person to get your house sold? Like nobody really enjoys doing that and wants to do it. And it also makes it so that the relationship between you and the client is not nearly as solid. If I'm the one that has to initiate the relationship, they're just looking for, all right, who's going to do it the cheapest? Who's got the greatest program? Whatever it might be, you're kind of competing against all of the other agents in your market, usually on price because they think that we all do the same thing. And so what differentiates us? Well, I'm only going to charge you X percent instead of what the other person charges. But if they're the one that initiates the phone call, I could tell them, I mean, I could make my own price pretty much, and they would be happy to pay it because they feel like they're getting the best person for the job. You've already proven your competence. You've already proven that you know what you're talking about. And if they've decided to call you at that point, they're in. Like, where do I sign? Do you want a blue pen or a black pen?
that's beautiful. How
Yeah.
powerful is that? And you've tried all the other strategies before you really kind of discovered that, wow, this really works well, and for all the reasons that you just laid out. You'd already gone through all the, the cold calling, the door knocking, the hanging things on people, all that stuff. So it's not as if you haven't experienced that before you got into this. I'm curious though, even with all the success that you've had, and you lay out exactly step by step in your book and on your website and in the course that you teach how to do this, um, thinking about this from the mindset of the introvert, are there still a lot of people who still struggle to get off the starting block, even though you've done a lot of the heavy lifting? They don't have to figure out how to do this. It's you kind of laid out a plug and play almost.
Yeah, I really try to. I mean, in my program, I tell you everything that I did in order to make this work for me. It's not like I'm keeping any secrets. I literally share everything. The thing that I think is so perfect about this for an introvert, and it's funny, I kind of consider myself to be an introvert. I know my friends would challenge that and say, no, you're not. But if I go to the dinner party, I am the one standing in the corner waiting for people to approach me. I do not just walk up to a group of strangers and start talking to them. I would so much rather be home, on the couch with a glass of wine watching Netflix than going to a networking event. That's not my idea of a good time at all. I really have to force myself to do it. And when I go to conferences, I go to real estate conferences that have thousands and thousands of people. I'm just like, oh, please let me see somebody I know so I'll have somebody to talk to. That's not my area of expertise. And I find that being on video is perfect for an introvert. Why? Because I'm filming in my room by myself. There is nobody here. I'm not talking to a group of people. I am literally speaking to one person. When I'm looking at the camera, I'm imagining that I'm speaking to one person. So, whatever your product or service is that you sell, imagine who is your ideal client and what problem are they having that you are trying to solve, and you're talking to them in this video. And you don't say, hey guys, welcome back to my channel, where you're speaking to thousands of people. You're really just envisioning that one person, as though you were at Starbucks having a cup of coffee and you're trying to give them some advice over a problem that they're having and what they could do to make it better. And I find that it's so much easier that way. I never used to enjoy live video. I have to say, I was terrified of live video because I thought, oh my gosh, what if I say the wrong thing and it's live? There's no way to hit the rewind button. I really like YouTube because I can film it. And if I don't like how I said it, I just say it again until I get it the right way. And then That's the clip that I use, and I delete all of the other stuff. But as I started forcing myself to go live more often, I came to really enjoy it. And I found that there's really nothing to be afraid of. Yes, those first several videos, I was completely a deer in the headlights. I was terrified. But you know what? Anything that can go wrong has gone wrong for me. There's always something. Like my
And
power goes out,
yeah.
or one time I knocked over a glass of water during a live stream. It went all over my keyboard, it went all over my mouse, it went everywhere. Like everything that can go wrong has gone wrong at one time or another. And what's the worst that can happen is you just keep going and you sit in a puddle of water, and after you hit end you run and grab the towels and pray that you don't have to replace your keyboard. But in the end, like, big deal, it's life. And now that everybody is on camera with web conferencing and Zoom, I think we've all learned that there's really nothing to be afraid of when it comes to the camera. The camera is your best friend,
Mm.
because as a real estate agent, how long would it take me to talk to 100 people that were interested in buying or selling a house in my market in the immediate future? Now I
Right.
can walk around my neighborhood and I can knock on every single door and say, hey, are you thinking about buying a house? Out of 100 doors, how many people will actually answer the door? Let's say that it's maybe 20, and that's probably overestimating. It's probably more like 10. But let's say that it was 20. And 20 people open the door and you say, hey, are you thinking about selling your house? And they say, no, we love our house. We're not going anywhere. Maybe 3 people would say, as a matter of fact, yes, I am thinking about selling my house and I don't already have a real estate agent and I would like to talk to you further. So we've knocked on 100 doors to get 3 prospects who may or may not turn out to be anything. If you make a video on YouTube and you put it out there, no one will ever see it unless they were searching for that topic.
Mm.
Like, your video doesn't just get put in front. Like, I don't get shown videos about how to play Fortnite because I have no interest in playing Fortnite. And I don't search on YouTube like tips on how to win at Fortnite. My 8-year-old son does all day long. That's what he gets shown. Me, what do I get shown? I get shown stuff from real estate agents and video marketing and how to make a sales funnel and stuff like that, because I search for that kind of information on YouTube. Therefore, the YouTube algorithm says, well, you watched that video before, so you might like this one next. And so your video will not be seen unless the people were looking for it. They've watched other videos like it before. They have expressed an interest in the topic because either they hit the like button or they watch the entire thing or they save it to the watch later or save it to a playlist or they share it with a friend or they watch your whole video and then they watch the next one because they liked it so much. They're telling YouTube that they like your content. So 100% of the people that watch your video were interested in the video. Like,
Yeah.
the camera is your best friend. It will allow you to make a video one time. Like, you can't see my ring light behind me. I was recording a video before we started doing this. It will take me probably an hour to record this video and then a few hours to get it edited. And then we make a nice thumbnail. So let's say it's a grand total of like 6 or 8 hours worth of work. Yes, it is work. It is not something that you don't just wing it and it's done in 15 minutes. It does take some work. However, 6 hours and then it will be shown on YouTube forever.
Yeah.
Thousands of people will see this video. Those people, a good chunk of them will turn into paying clients. And when you start making money from those videos, those are the best 6 hours that you will spend in your business because they are revenue generating activities.
Right. That's really powerful. And how many of your competitors are doing this? I would imagine in most markets, you're going to be like you use the phrase dominate your market, right, with video. And I think I can see how this would really work for a realtor. Um, a couple of things. One that you were kind of alluding to, when someone gets started watching your videos, and I think this is really true. I found myself on numerous occasions binge watching Karen's videos. And it's
Thank you.
partly because partly because she's quite entertaining. Like she just kind of lets herself go, and she's got a quirky sense of humor, and I enjoy that, and I'm sure a lot of people do. But one of the things that Karin does really well, better than I've seen most people who are doing video marketing, is she does a really good job of hooking you into the next one. So the video ends and it's already pointing you to a related video. Hey, if you like this, check out the blah, blah, blah. And it's always pointing to another. So it's very easy to just kind of keep on going. And it's like eating a bowl of ice cream and you just don't stop. So I
And you
really,
know what? That's what tells the algorithm to keep putting your content in front of that same person over and over again by getting them to binge watch. It's not so much whether or not they subscribe to your channel. It's very interesting. If I go to my analytics on YouTube, it'll say like 80% of your views come from people who are not subscribed to your channel. So people think, well, I've only got 100 subscribers. It really doesn't matter how many subscribers you have. What matters is that they keep watching your content over and over and over again. So it's just like on Netflix, right? You sit down on the couch and you watch some show. And then the next time you open up Netflix, it suggests new things for you to watch. And it says right on the page, because you like House of Cards, you might like this show. Like it tells you, because you liked this, you might also like this. And it's kind of the same thing on YouTube. So if I watch a video and then I get to the end and I watch another video, then I leave YouTube. When I come back 2 days later, I'm going to be shown more of that same person's content because I've already been interacting with it before. So just like you said, how do we get people to binge watch? Well, when you get to the end of your video saying, okay, well, thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. See you next time. Bye. Instead, you can say something like, so now you know why Savannah is such a great place to live, but do you know how much it costs to live here? Watch this video next where I tell you all about the cost of living in Savannah. And that video pops up right on the screen. I tell you to go watch it. I point to it like I'm giving you a visual clue. Go watch this video. And a lot of the times the people will. They'll click that next video and they'll stay on your channel longer, which tells the YouTube algorithm that people like your content because they watched it all the way to the end and then they started watching the next one. And then YouTube keeps suggesting your content to that person, but also to people that have a similar watch history as that person.
Mhm.
So they're like, okay, viewer A watched this video and then they clicked on it and they started watching the next one. Viewer B likes similar channels and has watched similar videos in the past. So we're going to suggest Karin's video to viewer B now as well. It's really a way to kind of get the algorithm to understand who your ideal viewer is and try to suggest your video to those people.
Yeah, I really love that. I love the way your videos do that. It's very easy to just keep on going, and I think that that's a really powerful strategy. So your book is really laid out wonderfully because it's arranged in like a 7-day startup. Like if you were
Right.
starting from ground zero, you don't even know how to click the camera button on your smartphone. You make it so that in 7 days, someone could actually be up and running with this as part of their marketing strategy. You've already touched on quite a bit of what those 7 days look like, but let's start from the top. So how does someone who's never done this before get started?
Okay, so when you first create your YouTube channel, you need to know exactly what your channel is going to be about and who you are trying to attract with this. So in my business as being a real estate agent, technically I can sell any type of house in the entire state of Georgia. I don't want to. I don't want to drive 5 hours to Atlanta to show houses. I live in Savannah, so I want to stay in my metro area. But even then, it doesn't have to be a first-time buyer getting a duplex for $50,000 and people that are buying multi-million-dollar mansions and people that want to live at the beach and people that want horse property and people that want urban condos downtown. Like I can have a specialty. I can have an area of expertise. And when I show up over and over and over again on the channel talking about this one specific subset of my audience, I start to establish myself as the go-to person for that niche, if you will.
Mhm.
So for me, it was military people that are moving to Savannah. They are in South Korea. They just found out that they've got orders to go to Hunter Army Airfield. They're going to be moving to Savannah. They don't know anything about the area. And I am your military specialist to help you buy a house when you get here. Like I had a very clear ideal customer avatar for my channel. And that has worked extremely well because rather than just being one of 2,000 real estate agents that work in Savannah, I am the go-to military person. And I know that it works because I get so many phone calls from it. But also one time I went to Hunter Army Airfield because we are a military family ourselves and I was going to the doctor. And when you pull up to the little guard shack, you have to show your military ID before you can even get on base. And the guy said, "Hey, you're that lady that sells houses on YouTube."
Oh,
And I
wow.
cracked up and said, "Well, I don't actually sell houses on YouTube, but yes, that is me." And he's like, "When we had to move here, we decided to rent for the first 6 months while we got to know the area, but your videos were so helpful. And as soon as our lease is up, we're buying a house and you're the one we're calling." So it really helps you be able to, if you're not trying to be all things to all people, you're trying to just find that one perfect type of client that you want to work with. Not only does it make it easier for them to find your channel, but it makes it easier for you to know what to talk about in all these videos because I know exactly what these people are going through. You know, my husband was in the Air Force. We've been there, done that ourselves. We know the challenges that they're having. So it makes it easier for me to decide, okay, what's my video going to be about this week? What am I going to talk about?
Yeah, that's great. That identifying your ICA, your ideal client avatar. Anyone who's a business coach talks about that, and it seems to me that most people really struggle there because there's this fear that, well, if I narrow down too much, I'm going to miss out on. Everyone's in this mindset of casting a wide net, but it's very clear from what you've experienced and what you teach that if we can just let go of that fear and realize that trying to talk to everyone, no one hears us, right? And that's
Precisely.
that's that's
Like,
really what you're talking about, right?
yeah, here's a good analogy. My husband and I want to paint the downstairs of our house, and we have no idea what color we should do. So we go to Lowe's and we're looking at the paint swatches, and it's totally overwhelming because there's just paint swatches as far as the eye can see. And I don't know which one to pick. I don't know anything about it. But if I already knew that I wanted a light gray, wouldn't that make my job so much easier? It would make it where I went to the paint store and I could narrow it down very simply and quickly and find just the one that I wanted. It's kind of the same analogy of if you are just a general all purpose provider of whatever your industry happens to be, there's nothing that makes you special. There's nothing that differentiates you from your competition. There's nothing that makes you stand out. But if you become known for something, now that doesn't mean that you're not ever going to get business from somebody else. So for example, on my channel, it was buyers who are moving to Savannah who are in the military. The very first lead I got from my channel was a seller who was not in the military. So it doesn't mean that you're going to alienate everybody else. It just makes it easier for you to focus your marketing message so that the right people will find it, but other people will find it as well.
Hmm. Yep, makes a lot of sense. And so, what's the next step after identifying that niche or your client avatar?
So now we're going to start making content specifically for that person. One of my coaching students said, like, I'm into health and fitness, and so I want to do videos about healthy cooking and doing yoga and massage therapy. And I was like, are we trying to find somebody that wants to buy or sell a house in your city? Because the person who is Googling how to do downward dog, that doesn't mean they want to buy or sell a house in the town where you live. You need to make content that is going to resonate with the person you are trying to attract. And so I always tell people, do not upload any video to your channel that your existing subscriber base would not want to see. There's a reason why they subscribe to your channel. And if they subscribe for real estate information and you upload some video about like how to make keto cupcakes, they're going to be like, what is this? And
Yeah.
they'll unsubscribe. If that's not something they were interested in, you will definitely lose subscribers over that. So, plus, we also want to tell the YouTube algorithm what this channel is about so that they know who the ideal viewer is. YouTube's entire goal is to put the right video in front of the person who's going to like it. So they're not trying to find the right viewer for your videos. They're trying to find the right videos for the viewer. And if you keep sending the algorithm all of these mixed messages, it doesn't know what video like it should promote, so it really doesn't do anything. If you want your videos to get found, you need to have this concept of the ideal customer avatar. Who do you want to work with the most? Who can you uniquely serve? Because you've been in their shoes before. You've been there, done that yourself. And so you understand those challenges and those struggles because you've done it yourself. It makes it really easy for you to then be able to answer those types of questions for that person.
Right. And then you end up building a business that you love instead of,
Absolutely.
you end up working more often than not with people that you really want to be around. And let's face it, if you've got to get up and go to work every day, why not make it as happy and joyful as you can?
Right.
Be around
Let's
the
actually
people.
like our jobs, right?
Hey, what a
Especially
concept, right?
if we're entrepreneurs and we're doing this on purpose. This wasn't a job that you fell into by accident. Like, you are creating this career with a mission. Well, what is your mission? What do you stand for? One thing that I am learning right now with my business coach is to try to make content that's a little bit polarizing, because it's just as important to repel the people that do not share your vision as it is to attract the people that you do. And because when you do that, you attract this audience of people that will follow you to the ends of the earth. They will rally behind you because they not only are interested in what you're talking about, but they believe in the same things that you believe in. So, can you create this whole YouTube channel around shared beliefs? Those customers that you get will be the most loyal customers you will ever get in your life, not just because we both like fishing, but because we believe in the reason why you're fishing, right? It's a subtle difference, but it makes a big difference.
Absolutely. It's the difference between attracting clients versus creating fans, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so now we've identified who it is that we want to target our content toward, and then what happens next?
So now we've said, okay, I know who I'm trying to reach, and I have this idea that I want to make a video about whatever the case may be. Let's say that your business is, you own a fly fishing company, right? You live in Montana, you live on the river, you take people out on guided tours to go fly fishing. I don't know why that came to my head, but I thought of that.
Yeah.
So that's your idea. So you're going to do a video about what type of fly is best for striped bass. I don't know a lot about fishing, so just go with me on this analogy.
Okay.
Now we need to do a little bit of keyword research to say, okay, what are people Googling on this topic? Because if I know exactly what they're typing into the search bar, and then that is in the title of my video, if my video shows up in the search results, they're going to say, oh, that's exactly what I was trying to find out. And now here it is in video format instead of in an article that I can read in, Fly Fishing Magazine or something. And most people would prefer to watch a video, let's face it. They would rather watch a 5-minute video than read some big long news article almost 100% of the time. So how do we do this keyword research? You need a tool, a software tool that is a keyword research program. The one that I really like is called keywordseverywhere.com. It's $10. It's $10 for 100,000 search credits.
Mm-hmm.
And you get on Google and you type in what fly is best for striped bass, and it will say 250 people a month are searching for that topic, and the competition is really high. And you think, okay, well, I can't really rank if it's got a lot of competition. Like, I'm a small YouTuber, I want to go after something that has low competition. So then you try again. Okay, maybe it is what type of lure is best for catching striped bass. And they say This one gets 150 searches a month, but it's got no competition. You say, okay, I'm going to make a video with that in my title because I know how many people are looking for it on a monthly basis. And it's going to be pretty simple for me to rank at the top of the search results because YouTube and Google are telling me that there's no competition for it. A lot of people have not already made videos on this topic before. So who owns YouTube? Google.
Yeah.
So if you have a really good video on YouTube, it can show up on the first page of Google search results as well. So think about how powerful that is. Somebody does a Google search and your video shows up at the top of page 1 of Google for free. You didn't spend any money on an ad. And then people go, that's exactly what I wanted to know. And they click on it and they watch your video. And they go, I really like this guy. He's so down to earth and low key, and he's not being all salesy. I'm going to subscribe to his channel. And then they watch the next video that you put out and the next video that we put out. And then the next thing you know, they decide that they're going to Whitefish on vacation next summer and they're going to book a fly fishing excursion, and they call you because you're the one that has all these videos that they've been watching in the past, rather than just opening the phone book or going to Google and saying like, what excursions can I book when I get there? Like, you've already earned their business just by showing up on camera and doing these videos that are really fun to make. At least I think they're
fun. Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. Oh, looks like we lost Karin momentarily. Hopefully she'll jump back in here, but I hope that you're getting a lot of value from everything that Karin's been sharing here. And I just want to point out again, her book, YouTube for Real Estate Agents, even if you're not in the real estate industry. Hi there.
What happened? All of a sudden it was just gone, but I'm back.
Okay, awesome. I was just pointing out your book on the bookshelf. It's weird doing it behind my back, but yeah. So anyway, now that you're back, we can jump back into it. So now we figured out who we want to target, and we're starting to get into the research to figure out what would be a good topic to do to do a video about, and then how do we take it from this rough concept idea into actually, getting in front of a camera.
So I usually just film with my phone. There is nothing wrong than filming with your smartphone. Like the camera, I have an iPhone 11. I got it for Christmas last year. Oh my gosh, the camera on that phone is amazing. But even before that, I had an 8 Plus, and before that, I had a 6 Plus. And those cameras were fine too. So no harm in using a cell phone. I do recommend that you get a little external microphone. I don't know if you can see that. I've got one of these dealy bubs that just clips on right here. This thing was like $29. It's not expensive, but you clip it onto your lapel and you plug it into the headphones jack of your phone. If you have an iPhone, you've got to use that white dongle looking thing that's the adapter to plug into the lightning port, but it still works. And then it lets you be heard so much better, or just use your, Bluetooth earbuds, because the farther away you are from the camera, the worse the audio is going to be. The closer the microphone is to your mouth, the better the audio is going to be. And people are very forgiving of not so great video, but they do not forgive poor audio. If they can't hear your video, they're out of there. So if they click on the video, they watch it for 7 or 8 seconds and they leave, YouTube gets all of these signals of, ooh, people don't like your video very much because they abandon it less than 10 seconds in. You're never going to get more than about 15 views on that video going forward, because YouTube is getting all of this feedback that people don't like the video. So make sure that they can hear you okay. So then you've got and I'm facing a window right now. I don't have any lights on me. My desk faces the window. This is just natural light coming in the window, and I think it's perfectly adequate. I don't have a big fancy light. I mean, you can, if you're filming in a dark room or in your basement, or you're in like a long skinny room where the only window is on one end but you're at the other end. Yes, go get a ring light for maybe $75. But if you can face a window, natural light will be your best friend, and that's fantastic. And then just think about, okay, we're going to start talking about our video of which fly is the best for catching striped bass. What are you going to talk about in your video? You don't need to write a script. just make like an outline of, I'm going to open with a very compelling statement at the beginning. You don't want to say, hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Karin Carr, and I'm the owner of blah, 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 where you're just kind of introducing yourself. Instead, you say, if you are looking to catch striped bass and you're wondering which fly to use, on this video, I'm going to show you my 3 favorites and the one that I think is the #1 slam dunk for catching the most fish that you ever caught in your life. So you open with some sort of like compelling statement that makes them go, ooh, I'm so glad I clicked on this video. I can't wait to watch it because this is exactly what I wanted to know. Then you introduce yourself. Hey, everyone, I'm Karin Carr, and I'm the owner of whitewater fly fishing here in Whitefish, Montana, or whatever it is that you're going to be talking about. And then you go into your topic of the day. And then just like you alluded to earlier, when you're wrapping up your video, instead of just saying, okay, thanks for watching, give it a thumbs up, I'll see you next week, bye, give them a clear call to action. So now you know which fly is the best for striped bass. Do you know which one is best for salmon? Click this link and watch this video next. So as you're filming your video, you're thinking about, okay, what other videos are already on my channel that would be kind of the next logical video to watch after this one. And then I'm going to tell them to go watch it. If it's your very first video on your channel, you don't have another video yet, that's okay. You just say, thanks for watching, I'll see you next week. But then on the second video, drive them to the first video. So you're always having some like an action that you want them to take at the end of the video. And it can either be watch another video, or it can be go to my website and get some free thing that you're offering. You talked earlier about a sales funnel, like get them to opt in with a lead magnet. And once they go into your email campaign, they're getting automated messages from you. You're able to send them more videos that you're making because you know what they're interested in, all of the things. But most of the time, just sending them to watch another video is perfectly adequate.
Beautiful. And let's talk a little bit about what are the big mindset issues that most people have to kind of move themselves through in order to start taking action on this. There's probably 3 or 4 that I think would be the most common that most people would struggle with. But from your experience, what do you think those are?
Well, at the beginning, we all fear that we're going to be judged. And I'm going to be straight with you. You are going to be judged, but you're being judged every day, whether you are aware of it or not. If I get up on a Saturday morning and the kids go, we don't have any milk, and I need to run to Kroger at 7 o'clock in the morning, I have no makeup on, I'm wearing sweatpants, my hair is in a bun, and I run into Kroger looking like a hot mess to buy milk, do you think that people are not looking at me going, dang, you couldn't even put some clothes on before you came to the supermarket? That's happening. So whether you're in person or you're on camera, it's happening. But are you going to let someone else's opinion about your appearance determine whether or not you can have a great business? I mean, that's kind of silly. As a real estate agent, I always make this joke of, if somebody called me and said, we are moving to Savannah. I am coming next Friday for a house hunting trip. I'm flying in on Friday. I'm leaving on Monday, and I want to be under contract on a house by the time I get in the plane and go home. And by the way, I'm approved for $500,000. Are you going to say, ooh, I'm sorry, I really can't do that because I need to lose 10 pounds?
Right.
Like, are you just not going to leave your house because you need to lose 10 pounds? No, of course not. You're going to go meet with that client and sell them a house and make a really great commission check, I hope. And you did not let the fact that you're a little bit self-conscious about, your COVID-15 that we all seem to have put on, right? You're going to do it anyway. And so being on camera is no different. You just have to know that my desire to have a kick-ass business is stronger than worries that somebody is going to make fun of my gray hair that's growing in. And if they do, so what? If somebody criticizes your appearance, is that somebody that you want to have as a customer or as a client anyway? I sure don't. Like, if you're that shallow that you don't want to hire me because my hair is going gray or because I weigh 10 pounds too much, then, bye, there's the door. Don't let it hit you on the way out. You're not somebody that I need to have as a client anyway. So at the beginning, we're worried about what people are going to say. And that first time I got a thumbs down on my video, it was like, oh, somebody gave me a thumbs down. Why didn't they like my video? Oh my gosh. And I felt
Mm.
so terrible about it. And then the next day I thought, you know what? This is actually a good thing because this means that people are finding my videos. Like, this was not somebody from my office. This was not my next door neighbor. This was not my Aunt Marcia who watched my video. This was somebody I don't know who found it organically and watched it. And maybe they didn't like it. Okay. But I just told myself they don't like Savannah. It's hot and it's humid and we get hurricanes and we have big bugs. So it wasn't me that they didn't like. It was Savannah that they didn't like. And then I went and made another video. So the more you do it, you kind of have to know that if you don't have haters, it's because nobody knows your channel exists. You will have people that don't like your content. And like we said before, that is okay. It is just as important to repel the people that are not your ideal customer as to attract the ones that are.
Mm. Yeah, that's perfect. Very well stated. I've heard that said before that if you're not getting a little bit of hate from what you're putting out online, you really aren't playing big enough.
Right.
That's how this works. And you have to understand that that's part of having the business of your dreams. You really can't you can't build that business without getting a little bit of that kind of stuff in return.
That's right.
So this has been just fantastic, so much value. And as we start to wrap this up, Karin, I wanted to mention also to the audience, one of the things that I really like about your work is so much of what you give is free. And some of the things that come to mind, you have an ICA worksheet that people can just download off your website to get them started thinking through that process, and um, an essential gear list of equipment that people should or should not get. So can you tell us where, if people want to know more about what you're doing and find out more about your program, where would you direct them to go?
I would say if you are a real estate agent or loan officer, follow my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Karin Carr. And that's Karin. Thank you, Mom, for making it so I can never get anything personalized in my entire life. And I've got tons and tons of videos on that channel about this exact topic. Then if you go to my website, which is youtubeforagents.com, you can get the ICA worksheet. You can see all of the gear that I recommend. I have it broken down into categories. Like if you're a total beginner, this is the bare minimum stuff that you need. If you've been doing it for a while and you're ready to like, okay, now I'm ready to get an actual camera or, a more expensive microphone, then I have a list of those things as well. Just, you don't need all of that stuff. Just pick one camera, one microphone, some sort of lighting, and hopefully that's enough to get you started.
Yeah,
And nobody has ever said, I almost hired you, but I feel like your camera quality was not quite up to par, or like that just doesn't happen. So don't think that you need all of this fancy equipment. You don't. Once you start getting business from it, I mean, in real estate, if you make a $5,000 commission check, can you go buy a $600 camera? You sure can. But is it necessary at the beginning? Absolutely not.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you can do this incrementally in steps, and that's really your approach to all of this. As I said, the book lays out 7 steps, and you can really accomplish that in 7 days. It's one of the things I love so much about it is it's a simple system that really anyone can do. So before we go, Karin, any closing thoughts or anything that we haven't covered that you'd love to share?
Don't overthink it. Don't talk yourself out of it. I wish I would have started doing this so many years earlier. I mean, I didn't really get serious about my YouTube channel until June of 2017. Had I known how effective it would be, how much business it would bring me, how much money I could be making from this, I would have started probably in like 2010 when YouTube was still in its infancy, because it is so effective. It costs you $0 to upload a video to YouTube and have it be seen by thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are all interested in what you're talking about. It doesn't just show up in their newsfeed like on Facebook, where I make a video and it just shows up in their Facebook news feed, but they may or may not have been interested in that topic. Whereas on YouTube, they are. If they watch your video, they were interested in the topic. You will get the best leads ever. So don't overthink about it. Don't like talk yourself out of it. Just decide, I'm going to start making YouTube videos. I'm going to stink at the beginning. My videos are going to be awful. I'm going to be terrible on camera. I'm not going to know what to say. My editing's going to be crap. We all start there. Every YouTuber that you like and follow started with 0 subscribers and 0 videos. We all start somewhere. I promise you, you get better by doing it over. Like, I make at least 1 video a week. By making 1 video a week for 4 years straight, do you think you get better over time? Of course you do. And then when you start making money, you say, you know what? I'm not going to edit anymore. I'm going to hire somebody that's going to edit all of the videos for me so that I don't have to do it, because that's just not a good use of my time. I now need to be with these clients making the big bucks rather than slaving over my computer trying to edit a video. So if you just make this part of your marketing strategy, it can bring you so much business. You just won't be, you'll be amazed at how well it does.
Excellent, excellent advice. And that's really the key, is to understand that you have to be bad before you can be good. And there's only one way of getting good, and that's just to make this a habit. It really needs to become like a muscle that you exercise, rather than going to the gym one day, working out and saying, okay, done, I'm fit.
Right, exactly.
So,
I did it once, it didn't work. I don't look like, a bodybuilder.
yeah,
Well, yeah, it doesn't happen after one
yeah,
time.
yeah. You don't just say, oh, I guess it's just not for me, right?
Right.
So. Well, thank you, Karin Carr, for an amazing interview. I'm sure that all the introverted entrepreneurs in our audience have a much clearer understanding now of the steps involved to get started with video marketing, now that you've laid it out so clearly. So thank you so much, Karin, for your expertise and sharing your experience so graciously. Very well done. And before we go, I just want to once again highly recommend that you check out Karin's book, YouTube for Real Estate Agents. Check out her website of the same name and her course. And if you have any doubt about how to do video marketing, you won't after you check out her work. And I guarantee you, you're going to do some binge watching of videos. It's going to happen if you check out just one of hers. So Karin, thank you so much again. Really appreciate it. And until next time, I'm Martin Meisenheimer with Business Masters Live.